Good day everyone. Today let's train ourselves with this beautiful Caterpillar 3516B. Okay, I will share my knowledge to all you guys, what I have learned in the oil field from 1987. Okay, so it's quite many years. Let's not put the number of years there, but I can tell you the first engine I overhauled was in 1988. Okay, so you can calculate the years. So let me share you my knowledge of 27 years from the time I've seen the 3500 series engine. So let's start from here. Okay, this is the radiator, and then you have, so this engine is a V-type 16-cylinder DITA. This was the question asked to me during an interview in 1993 while joining a company known as NDSC, and that's what Mr. Pat O'Shaughnessy asked me, and he said, "Alan, do you know what is DITA?" So thankfully I knew the answer, and I told him it's direct injection turbocharged aftercool. Okay, so this is exactly what DITA is. So this is a V-type 16-cylinder DITA. Alright, keep this in mind. This is a very important point. So this would be a 1200 RPM engine, but remember there are also 1800 RPM engines, but I would always recommend go for the slow speed engines. 1200 will benefit you because the parts will not rotate as fast as the 1800, and slower rotation gives you more life for rotating parts rather than the faster 1800 speed engine. So definitely slow speed is the best engines ever and will last you for a longer period of time. You will not have broken valves, stems, rocker arms, etc. etc. So just to remind you, the radiator, okay, the jacket water circulates to the radiator and gets cooled, and then you have the aftercooler water going through, there are different pipes going through the same radiator, but it's a different kind of an attachment. Okay, this is where your thermostats are, and thermostats open after a particular temperature so that to keep the engine hot and not running it cold, so they open after a particular temperature. Okay, so these are things you have to remember. And also the EUI injector, the electronic unit injectors, are special injectors which came up sometime in, I think, 2000, in the year 2000, correct? Okay, so these are the important things I want to share. Make sure you maintain your water pH. Okay, your pH should be always maintained. Okay, this is the safe area. Okay, I will not tell you the number, you should find out for yourself. This is the safe area. If your pH is too high, your seals will start leaking all over inside, and then you'll have water in your sump, and then that's the end of your beautiful engine. Okay, so this is very important. Water. Okay, the water should have rust inhibitor, and most of the time I remember it is null cool. Okay, so this is a 3516 engine, meaning it's a 3500 series with 16 cylinders. Each cylinder should be 6.25. However, since the upgrade, it is around, I think, 170 millimeters, I think so. Anyway, so the bore will come up to 6.69 inches. Okay, so the engine has got beautiful turbochargers, and it has got an aftercooler. This is the exhaust. Make sure you have always spark arrested exhaust mufflers. Okay, spark arrested mufflers are very important, and you have to keep cleaning the exhaust mufflers. There's a small catching kind of a basket down there, and you have to clean it once in a while. So this is something very important. And also you have the aftercooler pump, the water pump. Okay, this is the base of the engine, and this is the generator. In the new series you will see the panel. This panel will be somewhere over here, and it's EMCP 4.3 control panel. So every time they upgrade the engine, they upgrade the panel. And also you need to remember the word, I think it's edem. So anyway, you also need to know that these injectors are EUI injectors, all right? You will have sometimes, so the turbochargers are here in fact, but sometimes you will have slobbering in new engines if you don't load the engine. So this is something I would like to share with you guys. So for the exhaust, remember, if you don't overload the engine, it will start leaking. But okay, in the past we used to have a piston seal over here between one exhaust attachment to another exhaust attachment, and the Chinese ones leak more because their measurements are totally wrong. The American engines never leaks oil even though you don't overload. So remember, if it's a Chinese engine and it is leaking, then that means it is not it does not have a seal anymore, but you know their measurements are wrong. The exhaust does not expand as required to seal that particular area. So this is the difficulties we have faced recently. And you will have oil leaking all over the place, which is a hazard. So be very careful. Chinese engine, you better load them properly with a proper power. So you need to power up the engine, use a load bank, and try to go up to 95% load. Okay, and go and stagger them, like you know, you can start from 15% for say 2 hours to 20%, and then you go 25, 40, 50, 60, 70, you know. So you need to probably power them for 24 hours, and the maximum you achieve is 95% would be desirable kind of load to be achieved. Otherwise, it is a pretty straightforward engine with a generator. I'm not a Sparky, but I can tell you that if there is a problem, I will be able to fix it. Okay. So the other things of the engine, it could be an air starter or it could be an electric starter. This is where your oil pressure switch, etc. would be, and your foundation should be strong enough. They should be aligned with the engine as per the alignment procedure and to be bolted to the flywheel. Remember, you need to have your grounds in place. Yeah, your ground is very, very important. So let's go to the other side of the beautiful engine. I'm trying to do it in just one shot, so let me see, maybe I will be successful or maybe not. So okay, let's go here now. So here you have a fan, you have a fan belt, and this is for oil filters, this is for fuel filters. You have a hand pump on the other end where you can prime for fuel. Sometimes, you know, the fuel pump is situated somewhere here, but you remember, you have a problem with the fuel or with the engine not picking up, sometimes dropping. There is a check valve in here that you need to probably check. Okay, this is the oil cooler, cools the oil, and the water runs through to cool the oil. Okay, and this water goes to the radiator and it gets cooled here. There is a level switch somewhere here. You need to maintain this level all the time. If the level goes down, your alarm will trigger, and you know the engine may shut down. So you need to take care of the level. Don't open your cap. Never open your cap when the engine is hot. Okay, let it cool down. Okay, and also here I have a beautiful fuel tank. Sorry, this one has a tap, but never mind. Beautiful fuel tank. The fuel tank, remember, has to be ASTM compliant. Okay, you should follow the API rules as well as the fuel tank rules and regulation. And also, this is important, spark arrested vent is very important, and you need to know API rules to know the distance from here to here to center of the well, and where you're going to place the fuel tank on a drilling rig. And also the engine, okay, you need to know how far the engine is going to sit from the center of the well. This is all as per API, okay. So for fuel you have a suction, okay, the suction line there, and this is the discharge line. So you need to work out a day tank and make sure so that your fuel flows properly. The other important, okay, you have fan belts here. Pay specific attention to the grounding of the fuel tank. Always make sure any equipment in the fuel tank, your fuel pump or your electric motor and any piping, whatever you see, has to be in the ground loop and has to be grounded correctly. One more small tip, you have to make sure your engine is sitting straight, right? So alignment, make sure every time alignment is very important. The engine has to be sitting straight, okay? I understand on a jackup or a land rig, you know, you may have, but make sure, you know, your generator, your engine, both have to be in line, okay? That's very important. And this is basically, let's put it this way, it's a 2000 horsepower engine, okay? So let me go on the other end. If I missed something here, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, these are expansion joints, and there's a suction there for the radiator water cooling. Yeah, let's go on the other end. Let's go on the other end. Okay. So the engine horsepower is calculated by the surface area of the piston, and definitely I'm not good in calculations, but I can tell you this should have been 6.25, but it is 170 mm. Okay, and you know, based on the circumference of the piston crown, the pressure or the distance of the travel of the piston, there is a technical calculation which you can calculate the horsepower of your engine, and then you convert to kVA or kilovolt ampere or K kilowatt, okay, kW. The other important thing, remember the crankshaft of this engine for offshore has got a specific heat code. So remember, you need to have specific heat number for offshore engines rather than the land engines. And these are the air filters, and somewhere you have the oil pump. Okay, there is these are the starters. It could be electric or it could be air. Engine specifications. See, most of the time your engine number, serial number is here. So that's right. The engine serial number is here. Is very important to record, monitor, and you know, keep the information of the serial number. Always click a picture and keep it for the new engine. And also you have the serial number here. Okay, so these are the important places. You have to protect them, you know, put some grease or put a tape and protect these nameplates. Engine rotates, you know, standing on the flywheel counterclockwise. Always remember, counterclockwise. That's how the engine rotates. And so the engine rotates counterclockwise, okay? But it depends, you know, if you're offshore and you're using the engine for propulsion, then the engine could turn the other way. So this is all something to do with engineering. So this will be, you know, when you purchase the engines, you need to specify the types of rotation, and based on your application, you can purchase your engines for your specific drilling application. So generally your number one cylinder will normally start from here. So it's like this, facing the radiator. You will see number one cylinder here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So number one cylinder is here on the left hand side facing the radiator. So to time your engine, you have a timing pin here, and you rotate your flywheel counterclockwise all the time, and then when your timing pin goes in place here, you check your number one cylinder and see if your exhaust valves are loose. Your valves are loose. If the valves are loose, that means number one piston is on compression stroke. So that is how you check your timing. This is just for information. I know you all are all experts on this stuff. Pardon me, in fact, the rocker arm should be loose, and you know that's the time your number one piston is on compression stroke, and then you go another rotation, and then you first check your compression stroke, and then you check your exhaust stroke. You know, it depends. It's all that you follow your chart, and you know, you read RFB. Okay, that means read the book. This sticker you will see most of the time over here, or there will be one on top. So these are the lifting arrangements. So you need to follow and make sure that you lift the engine using the right lifting points. All right, don't just pick the engine from here. You need to use a proper lifting point. Okay, there's one here, there's one here, and it will tell you what you can lift. You cannot lift the engine and generator together. It has to be separated. Okay, you could if you use the bottom skid, but all the procedures have to be followed. Don't make your own procedures. You need to follow the rules and regulation. Okay, so that's where your oil pump is situated. Okay, that's where your oil pump is situated. You have to make sure, you know, the oil pump, sometimes, you know, you'll have a clogged strainer. You have to be very, very particular about this, and there is a kind of a plunger in there which you will have to monitor time to time. Otherwise this engine is pretty good, and very, very efficient, trouble-free. 3516 are normally trouble-free engines. So I missed to tell you about ADEM3. ADEM3 is a communicator which communicates from here. It's a smart sensor simulator for the Caterpillar ADEM3 and ADEM 2000 ECMs, collectively known as ADEM3, enables investigators to download HVEDR data without risk of spoiling the data by overwriting snapshot records associated with diagnostic trouble codes. Okay, so this is something to do with the Sparky, not me. All right. So another thing I want to share with you is the ECM. Okay, the electronic control module, ECM, is situated somewhere here, and it is a small electronic unit that acts as a nervous system of this engine. So it actually detects every safety system of the engine, and it talks to the panel, electrical panel over here, and this panel talks to the main panel in the ACR room, which could be the ADEM or the Woodward 2301. Okay, so this is something you'll have to remember. It's like the heart of the engine. It's pretty smart. So this is very, very important, and time to time it has to be checked by using ET. ET is the electronic technician software, which is very important. You can connect your computer to using an ET software and connecting it here, and there are some special provision given, and you can actually set the firing order of the engine. You can set the timing of the engine. You can check your fuel injectors. You can check which fuel injector is firing, etc, etc, etc. Unfortunately, I've not done work on Caterpillar for a couple of years physically, but I spent nearly 25 years, I think almost 25 years physically working on these engines. So that's what I would like to share with you guys. Okay, the oil pressure switch and all is sitting here. Here, this is the place to actually fill oil, but there should be some kind of a let me go on the other end of the engine, and let's now look where we fill oil. Okay, that's the one there. That's the place you fill the oil. There's a deep stick, so you need to make sure good oil level. Always use a nice beautiful funnel. All right, funnel is very, very important. Don't spill oil, don't waste oil. Very important funnel, huh? See, very, very important. All right, make sure you use a bloody funnel. Okay, make sure you always need to use Caterpillar recommended oil. That means oil recommended by OEM. So make sure you put the right oil using a funnel. In my remembrance, I think it was we used to use 15W40. Okay, Caterpillar recommended OEM oil is very, very, very important, and also your coolant, and it should be recommended by Caterpillar. So everything should be OEM. So I think I've covered almost everything. Keep the fins clean, okay, a good wash sometimes, and make sure you use pure pot water. Don't use water that has got salt content, okay, very important. So this is all. I think I've spoken almost everything about the Caterpillar 3516, and if you guys have any doubt, let me know. I have almost all the information to split this engine into pieces, and also overhaul them, and I can run you through the process of how to measure, and how to change parts, how to interchange parts, which are the upgrades of this engine. So all this information I've captured over the years after working in cat engines, and I hope all of you will enjoy this video, and I've given you all sufficient information of the Caterpillar 3516. Okay guys, you all enjoy, and hope you give a thumbs up for this beautiful video. I've spent an hour now talking to you guys, I hope, and setting all this up, you know, this beautiful engine and the beautiful fuel tank. Man, it takes a lot of time to set this up for you guys, and you got it all together. 35 years of experience, I just put it in 10 minutes. Okay guys, thank you, and you all have a lovely day with this beautiful 3516 Caterpillar.